Hello everyone, and welcome to Nobodies. Why Nobodies? Because we're a bunch of nobodies who are making a show that no one's going to watch.
Yeah.
And today's topic, we're going to be talking about minimum wage. And just pretty much our opinions on whether or not we think it's a good thing or a bad thing. So, I understand where people are coming from with that. I mean, you can't make, you can't make a living off of minimum wage. I mean, that's just a fact. You can't own a house, you can't buy stuff. So people think that if we just make laws that give people more money, then, everyone's going to be better off. Because, first of all, people can, feed themselves. But, of course, there are unintended consequences to that, and that's pretty much my take on that. I know your stance on that is, people are kind of missing the point on that, if you want to elaborate.
Yeah, okay. My first argument ever against the minimum wage, because I'm against it, is that you make $8 an hour now, right? Well, a couple of years ago, minimum wage used to be $6 an hour. So if you up it to 15, like what good are you doing yourself? It's just going to be the new minimum wage. I mean, you're still not going to be able to afford a house. You're still not going to be able to afford groceries or kids or the dream that you have. I mean, it's going to be the new minimum wage. You're not really helping yourself out any.
Well, the idea is, because it takes, $10 to buy this item, and $8 an hour doesn't really cover that. If I get $15 an hour, I can definitely afford to buy that item. But it sort of misses the point, because everyone goes off about, how McDonald's is a greedy corporation that doesn't want to pay its workers higher. And you know what? You're right. You're absolutely right. McDonald's can definitely afford to pay people $15 an hour. That's not the point, though, is because, when Mr. Rich CEO opens up his check and realizes that he's gotten $6 million, this month, then next month after the minimum wage bill passes, he realizes now he's only making $5.9 million a month. He's going to say, damn, I really want that $100,000 now. So what's he going to do? He's going to either jack prices up, or he's going to replace employees with machines so he can still keep his $6 million paycheck. So yeah, they could afford if they really want to, but even if you pass a law, it's not really going to change anything, because they're still going to do whatever they can to keep their money. And even if you don't get replaced by machines, which is a serious real threat, you guys got to look this up, because machines can do a cashier's job for a lot cheaper than $15 an hour. So that is a threat. But let's say you don't get fired, you still get $15 an hour. Your local shop, wherever you want to buy at, who's also hiring workers at minimum wage, they're going through the same thing too. The rich CEOs are still not going to be happy with the fact that they're losing some money on this, so they're going to jack their prices up. So yes, you've got more spending money, but you're spending more money for the same stuff you couldn't already buy to begin with. So nothing's really changed other than some prices went up and you're still in the exact same spot you're at, which is why we continue to have this cycle of minimum wage increasing. Well, that's only one reason. I mean, inflation has a lot to do with that, but that's an entirely different topic.
Well, yeah, my take on it, another take I have is everybody's kind of missing the point. And I guess this only applies to nowadays. I mean, since the economy is super bad. They say we're in a recovery. Let's just say I buy that. The economy still isn't what it used to be, and there's no denying that. So even if we are in a recovery, it's still not the best. The point is, we're in a recovery. So what happened to all the good jobs? I mean, I wrote an article on it, and what happened? What happened to the manufacturing? All the tech jobs? I mean, they're still here, but not nearly what they used to be. Just all those good jobs. Where did they go? What happened? They got obliterated in 2008, and they never came back. They either got outsourced or they just vaporized. And so you got all these people with degrees, or kids in college getting degrees, and they're working at McDonald's, they're working at Walmart, because they can't get a good job. So the minimum wage argument, these people are saying, well, we need a better wage. No, you need a better job.
Yeah, absolutely.
I hear a lot of, on the right, they say that, well, you need to go to college and work hard, but a lot of people are doing that. Like I said, a lot of college kids right now are struggling to find jobs. And it's not just the liberal arts degree kids, that we all like to make fun of, but it's kids who go to school for, science or, mechanics. It's rough out there right now, So that was kind of my point when we talked about it.
Right.
It's just that it's kind of, you're missing the point. It's It's good jobs. That's
Yeah.
what you should be focusing on. You should be focused on the jobs, not the pay.
Right. So, I mean, that brings up a separate issue entirely because you're right. I mean, if you want the minimum wage to increase, that means you're already in a bad job. These jobs are designed for high school students. I mean, that's why they're there for. So people should be asking is, why are there no more jobs available?
Yeah. Why are these people trying to support families with a McDonald's salary? Why is it happening in the first place? And that's what they're not focusing on.
Yeah, and a lot of people like to say, you definitely hear this on the right a lot, that it has to do with the fact that people aren't trying hard enough, they're just lazy, or they're just mooching off the system.
But some people are.
It's true. Some people are. I mean, you always have that no matter what system you are, private or public. Everyone always abuses a system if it's there. But a lot of that has to do with the fact that we're just not living in a system that's really supporting the economy. I mean, you have a perfect example where you try to do something as simple as open up your own little hot dog stand to support your own business.
Don't get me started on that. That was ridiculous.
And so you just want to do something as simple as open up a hot dog stand and a small little business, but you had to have so many licensing fees from this county, the state.
Fees. Forms. It was nuts. It was nuts, dude.
So imagine if you just want to open up a little mom and pop shop down on Main Street and open up your own little small little business. You can't do that. And that's what a lot of the jobs are, is with small businesses. But you can't make, a small business if you're getting taxed to death and getting feed to death and getting regulated to death. So it's not just because people are reaching off the system. That's true, yes, to an extent. I don't know what the percentage is, but that's only a factor of it. A lot has to do with the fact that we don't have a system that's supporting, small businesses. And that's another reason why I don't really like the minimum wage. And this is actually the thing that bothers me the most. Is because people always say, why can't McDonald's support people on a $15 an hour wage? Why can't Walmart do that? And yes, all those big corporations can do that. But what about your, average small business, mom and pop shops? They can't afford it. It's hard enough for someone to open up their own burger joint and competing with McDonald's, who's selling hamburgers at a dollar a piece.
And they've got the name behind them.
Right. And you don't know anything about the small business that just decided to open up. Are you really going to spend $8 on the hamburger, which they're selling because that's the only way they can break even, or go to McDonald's? So if you have a little mom and pop shop who's trying to make ends meet, who aren't the rich CEOs you guys are making villains of, they are getting hammered by minimum wage because they can't afford to pay workers at $15 an hour. And that's where people really need to focus on. Like I said, yes, the rich CEO people, yeah, they can afford to do it if they really wanted to, but they're going to do every single loophole they can exploit to make sure they keep your paycheck, whether or not it's, firing people, replacing them with robots, or jacking the prices up. Meanwhile, all the small businesses are getting shafted. And that's why I don't really like the minimum wages, because it hurts the little guy.
Well, and it kind of ties into, like you were saying, the rich companies, the rich corporations, the rich banks, they have lawyers, they have specialists, they've got accountants, they got all that where they can maneuver. I mean, if they're gonna have to pay it out of wages, they're gonna take it out of their taxes, or they're gonna find some way to offset that cost. Whereas a small business, they don't have lawyers, they don't have bean counters,
They can't afford any of that.
They can't afford any of that. So, like you said, it's just hurting small business. And the funny thing is, Dixon, they passed their own little minimum wage law, but it has a bunch of exemptions for small businesses because they tried to get around that, but it's so convoluted, nobody knows what's going on.
Yeah.
It was like if you're outside the city or, if you're within city limits, it was completely different than if you had somebody who lived in this town but drove in, they were under a different class. I mean, it's nuts.
Yeah.
So, like you said, it hurts the little guy because they can't figure it out. I mean, they're too busy trying to run their business. They're trying to make the burgers. They're trying to make cakes or, photography, whatever they do. They don't got time for that. So, ain't nobody got time for that.
No, nobody does. All right, it's that time to wrap this up a bit. So that's pretty much my main points on it. Anything else that you've got to say about that?
I mean, it hurts the little guy, and I know everybody's struggling. We all are, but there's a better way. And like I was saying earlier, I think we should focus on the quality of jobs, and then the pay will follow. So that's just my point.
So if you guys like us for whatever reason, feel free to check out our website. The link will be below. It's capeak.org, where we write articles on opinions on things that we think are going on. We try to focus mainly on California because that's where we're at. But if you have any other questions about us, I guess feel free to comment us or whatever. Or, no one's actually watching this, so...
Yeah, we're no. If you want to tell us we suck, please visit this site below.
Or, send us hate-filled comments about how ignorant we are. That's always fun.
Those are fun to read. I like
Hate
these.
comments are fun. They really are fun. Well, that's about it for now, peoples. Guess we'll see you again on our next video. Thanks for watching. You actually watched it. Peace.
Thank you.